Good morning. This is Sheryl with Sheryl's Dashing Designs. I would like to thank you for being here and watching this. This is going to be the second tutorial on building a journal. I'm going to do a little bit of recap of what we did yesterday because I want to show what I did. But today it's going to be putting the cover together. So I just want to thank you guys again for coming and following this. I'm going to try to get on every day for just, 30, 45 minutes and do something in this journal to get it put together. As I said, I'm Sheryl with Sheryl's Dashing Designs. That is my YouTube and my Instagram. My Facebook is Sheryl Blair Hood, and my email is jazzhood@yahoo.com. Feel free to reach out to me any of those ways, and if I can help you in anything, I will try to. I hope you're having a great Tuesday. It's very windy here. You're going to hear a lot of wind probably because I'm right in front of two big windows with the big window to my side, and the wind is just blowing 90 to nothing today. Anyway, yesterday we put all this together. We had it together in one journal. That's how I start. I always put all the pages that I want in that journal together as one. But then, see how now it was so big, so I decided I had plenty to do two. I probably could do 3 signatures, but I'm only going to do 2. So what I did is I split it up. This will be, let's see, I think this is going to be the first signature. And I did add a Edith Holden page to each one. I can't remember if I did that on film yesterday or not, but I added a Edith Holden. And counting, I tried to have this one exact amount of folded pages. I don't really consider them pages, like these little pieces like this, but when I am putting it together, I consider it a piece, because what I consider is how many folded pieces I have down the seam here. So I think I have 24 in each one of these, which will really be big once I start binding them and putting them together. But anyway, this is the first one. And at this stage, it's not very pretty, but I know in my head what it'll look like, or I hope it looks like. I've got music, I've got French book pages, I have digitals. Digitals are from Kelly's Crafts by Kelly. A lot of this papers and pages and everything is by Vanessa at Clemens Craft. This was from Vanessa. Some of my pages are from Louise, I think it's Timekeepers. I'll have to look that one up. And also I have some pages by Marjorie, who is in our group, and she does all these beautiful pages. Let me show you right here, where she splatters silver and gold metallic paints on them. This one, it's all in silver. That's what I asked her for. So that is the first signature, and then we're going to go. And this, when I was cutting it, I accidentally cut there. That doesn't bother me because I'm going to fold that down and I'm going to make a little pocket out of it. So I didn't cut it all the way off. When you make a mistake, learn to do something with it. Whoops, that needs to go this way. There we go. That is that one. And this is what I do. I try to get them in here as even as possible. clip it together. That'll be one signature, and this one will be the other one. Like I said, I had all these together yesterday in yesterday's film. I took them apart and made two different. Another Edith Holden page, another French book page. This is from a old magazine. Ledger. I think this was from a French. I think I've got a German page in here also. Anyway, this was from a utility company, and I just like the blues with it. This is from a magazine, and what I did, this magazine was getting really, really brittle, so it was a full magazine page. Like this. It is from the Sears and Roebuck, but it was so brittle, so I folded it in half, and then I took each piece and I went over the halfway line just a little bit, like this. You take a piece, fold it in half, but then when you're coming, you go back over the folded line just a little. Then I put two-sided tape under here, and I tape that down. Then I come back over this way, and that way I reinforced that seam. Now it's strong. Printed page. This is from my friend Patty at Sacred Mementos. This is from Patty at Sacred Mementos. From Vanessa, Clemens Craft. This was a calendar page that Vanessa sent me, but it has some blues in it. I think it's going to be fun to work with. I like the images on the inside and everything. And that's that one. And I'm sorry, I bet that was loud on camera. Forgot about that. Okay, that is our two signatures right there. So we have that done until we change them again. Now we are going to start building the journal cover. I already have this one cut. This is a manila folder. It's just like this. Manila folders, most of them have a seam, and then they have another little seam. So what I do, you can use your scoring board, but where this seam is, I always fold it over like this. Now this is for a two signature. I fold that over, and then I take this and I fold it back over. And I have my bone folder here somewhere. I was just using it. Of course, now it's going to hide from me. Too many things here. Well, I'll look for it in just a minute. And then I know my pages are just a little over. The pages are right at 10. So I want to cut my cover about 10.5. That way it leaves a fourth at the top and a fourth at the bottom. It's also right at 4 here. Okay, I am back. I had no clue that my camera turned off, and I completely made this cover on film. And of course, this one turned out good. But, you know, I'm having to make another one now so I can finish the film. I think whenever it cut off, I was looking for my bone folder. I had cut, made the extra fold, to smooth that out. What I do then is I take some book binding, and you don't have to. I've done it without doing it. It just makes me feel better. glue run down. I found out, you know, it's easier for me just to use the regular Fabri-Tac bottles than Sugar Belle, because as long as I let my glue run to the edge before I ever squeeze, I barely have to even squeeze it. I have a lot of arthritis in my hands and it just doesn't hardly hurt or anything. And I just get and like I said, I completely put the nozzle tip down to what I'm working on. This is, it's like a charge card, but it's bigger. Smooths out the glue, keeps me from having glue globs. Nobody likes a glue glob. Okay, this just kind of reinforces that seam. Like I said, the other one turned out perfect, so we'll see how this one turns out, you know. As long as my camera stays on this time, I really don't know what happened. Because it taped it to a certain, recorded to a certain place, and it just cut off, and I still had 80% camera use, or 80% phone use. So it didn't make sense to me, but anything mechanical doesn't make sense to me. Those glue globs. Okay, that takes care of all of my reinforcement. Now I'm going to cut this off. Allow it to stand up on its own. Let's see, this one's about the same size. Yeah, it is. Okay, I have chose this for my outside cover, only the first layer. You know how I layer and layer and layer. This will be the outside cover. I was going to do it in velvet. I had some velvet from Sheila Gingrich at Boho Daydreams, and I was going to cover it in that, but I only had a little piece left. Get up there and see if I had some more, but I had this handy and I thought I want to try this. What this is kind of that cross stitch fabric. I'm trying to think, it starts with an A. I can't think of the name right now, but anyway, I cut it to where it's like almost an inch all the way around bigger, and that's how I start. And then I'm going to put this on the inside. This is from Sheila, and it's an Indian textile print. Really like it. And it goes smaller because once this comes over, I don't want it to go clear to the outside. I just want it to be about a 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Gotta see which way it goes. I think that's how it goes. Okay. First of all, we're going to start gluing this down. And I only work on one part at a time. This is the exact same way my mother and I used to. We used to do wood. We did road shows, and we did wood and cloth, and we did just about everything. And so we would a lot of times adhere our cloth to wood or to cardboard like this and adhere that to the wood. So this is exactly the same way we did that. Only thing is, on wood, we didn't have to worry as much about it buckling like on paper you do. So anyway, I'm going to place that where it is. Just about an inch. I think I can move that over some where it's more even. Down some. Okay. And then I want to make it tight. Remember, I don't have glue on any of this. This is exactly how we used to do it. We even use this with Mod Podging to flatten it out. I need to clean this brayer because it's got, where I've done this so many times, it's got a bunch of glue build up, so I'll have to soak it in some alcohol or Goo Gone. To do the other part. I like to make sure I get all the way underneath there good. Let me wipe this. I like to start with a clean nozzle so no dried glue comes off. Don't squeeze until the glue gets down, and then it doesn't take as much hand and arm pressure. Don't want those strings in there because they will make a little bulk. And they're hard to get up once they get in the glue. And they're hard to get off your hand. Pull the glue, pull the fabric tight. Get my brayer. Right here. What I was going to say is when we used to do it on wood and use the brayer and smooth it out, we didn't have to use expensive Fabri-Tac. We could use some Aleene's, just craft glue, or because on wood it wouldn't buckle. But I don't like that kind of glue on my paper products. I find it buckles. Pull it tight, tight, tight. Let's look up here and make sure I'm still running. Okay, I am. Now I'm going to be really antsy about that. I don't know, have any clue what happened. Okay. Then see, all these will fold up. This will fold in. But I don't like this bulkiness. So I do just like in sewing, where you learn to miter those corners. Every corner I cut off at an angle. Right up above that one. I think I'm going to have to get just a tiny bit closer. That is my 4 corners. What I'm going to do now is I am going to glue this down. And what I want to do is cut off some of these edges like this, so that way they don't string along. You're going to hear a siren on my camera. There's nothing I can do about that. The hospital's only about 4 blocks from my house, so sirens go all day long. And the ER is on the side of the hospital that I live, so. And the second busiest street in Muskogee is what you have to turn off of to come down to where I live. So there's no way I could keep trying to record without ever catching a siren, because I don't hardly hear them anymore unless, like now, I'm recording and I hear it. Pull that tight. So I don't have to squeeze so hard. Glue out. Pull it tight. Try to get these little corners. Sometimes you have to work it in so it doesn't show. Just like that. That one did good. And now I need to get the edge. normally do if I have cut it too short. I think I can get it. Where is it at? Here it is, a little piece. What I normally do is just cut out a little section, and I will cover it up. And probably wouldn't show anyway, because I imagine I'll have ribbons and lace on it. Because I want to make sure it doesn't show, I am going to do this all the way to the edge. See that? Sometimes I have to trim the little strings off at the corners. Just don't get too close because you'll cut your corner. So it needs to be worked in. Didn't get this. Well, this is Sheryl again. I've got to find out what is going on. My camera keeps shutting off. But anyway, and I didn't know it, and I finished another one. So now I've got two that I thought I was doing on camera, and the camera kept shutting off. But I had showed you everything of how I did the outside. The only thing I had left was to put this piece on the inside. I'm just going to go over it real quick. I just cut a piece of fabric to fit right inside this. Cut it off here, cut it off there, and then I glued it down the exact same way that we glued this down. And I used the brayer, smoothed it out, and then I had added some corner pieces. I got to get my camera fixed before I can do any more recordings, so I can't go, I'm not gonna go back and do the whole thing again right now. But anyway, it was just cut it to fit, glue it down exactly the same way that we did this. And I hope the next time that we come back, I have everything working. Thanks. Have a wonderful day.